Today, I'm doing 5 speedruns of Duck Life 1. Will practice really make a difference? Let's find out. In this game, you own a huge farm and are making loads of money, when one day, a tornado comes along and destroys it all. The only thing that survives is a single duck egg. So you have to train this duckling into a racing duck to make enough money to rebuild the farm. The speedrun starts as soon as I begin training. It has been 4 years since I've played this game, so the beginning was rough. I died over and over and over again. But after training for a while, I started to gain some speed, which allows us to train our skills faster. But that also means it's easier to mess up. But before I knew it, I had hit the max level 150. So I was on to the next skill, swimming. At first I didn't understand it. I kept dying at the easiest jumps. But the concept is simple. Either swim under or over the obstacles. You can also move forwards and backwards. But just like the last one, the further you get, the faster you go, the quicker you train your skills. And after a while, I had gotten to level 150 and felt like a pro. And that means I was almost done with maxing out my skills. All I had left was the flying skill. Unlike the other skills, which you train by avoiding an obstacle, flying had absolutely no skill requirement. You would just fly until you got tired and fell into the water. This one had a lot more death than any other skill, but this time it was on purpose. After dying a ton, I finally hit level 150 flying, which means all of my skills were maxed out, except for energy, which I can increase by buying birdseed in the shop. So with the coins I had acquired during training, I bought as much birdseed as I could and started racing. Because all of my skills were maxed out, I flew through the first race. Then with the coins I won, I bought more birdseed. With maxed out stats and all the energy I could ever need, I tore through the races like it was nobody's business. And I got first place every time. After completing every race, I had to win the World Championship. Because of my incredible race record, I was chosen to race against the one and only World Champion. And if I won the race, I would have enough money to rebuild the farm. And just like that, the race started. I started on the lead, but he quickly outran me. But I started to catch up to him in the flying section. We were neck to neck going into swimming, and I was slightly faster than him. But in a picture-perfect finish, I beat the world champion. As soon as the congratulations screen comes up, I can officially say the first speedrun has come to an end, with a time of 17 minutes and 17 seconds. I felt pretty good with this time, but I knew there was a ton of area for improvement, so I wasted no time starting the second speedrun. Starting the second run, I knew I had a lot of work ahead of me. The moment training began, the timer was ticking. I focused on improving my strategies, especially my jump timing. The beginning went noticeably better than before. But once the speed picked up, I was struggling, just like in the first run. Still, I got through the first training section faster than last time. After hitting level 150 and running, I moved on to swimming. Right away, it felt smoother than before. I was still dying often, but I had improved my skills when I was going slowly, which let me level up faster. The problem was when the game sped up, I couldn't react in time and ended up guessing obstacles, which obviously didn't work. But once my swimming was maxed out, I tackled flying. I experimented a lot, sometimes trying to just die quickly, other times flying the whole way through or stopping at certain points. I never found out the perfect method, but I kept testing, even during later races, just to try to figure out what worked out best. After maxing out flying, it was race time. I crushed the first 3 beginning races, then spent all of my money on birdseed, enough to boost my energy to level 129, which was more than enough. From there, I swept through the rest of the races while working on my menuing, basically how fast I can navigate through the menus. After beating the world champion duck, I finished the speedrun with a time of 16 minutes and 28 seconds, almost a full minute faster than my first run. I felt way more confident this time. I knew that for the next attempt, I'd be even faster. Going into the third run, I was absolutely flying. I barely made any mistakes during the running section, I was getting farther, with way better control, and I even started practicing grabbing coins whenever possible, hoping that I could max out my energy before even starting the races. That didn't end up being possible, but it was worth a shot. Swimming also went better. I started using both forward and backwards movement to make bigger jumps and to give myself more time to react. I also discovered that if I move fast enough, I could sneak under or over obstacles you're not really supposed to be able to. The iceberg was the easiest to do this with, but even the small green sailboat could also be dodged that way. Then it was time for flying. I tested a new idea, dying immediately after losing momentum. I figured this might be the fastest way to reset and get back into the air. I never confirmed it for sure, but based how quickly I wrapped up this training, it seemed like the best method. Once training was done, I finished all of the beginner races and 3 of the 4 amateur ones. I was trying to figure out the best way to complete the races before having to buy any birdseed. I lost a lot of time by doing this, but once I just gave in and ate all the birdseed, I blasted through the rest of the races, including the champion race. I crossed the finish line with an amazing time of 15 minutes and 15 seconds, an improvement of nearly 1 minute and 15 seconds over the last run. The 4th run was a total letdown compared to the 3rd, and that really stung because I'd actually put more effort into this one, knowing that it was my last real chance to practice before the final run, so I took it more seriously. Now, it wasn't a disaster, but it definitely wasn't great. I did worse on running, made some dumb mistakes, died in places I knew I should have survived. Overall, it was just sloppy, but not horrible. But after completing running, swimming went pretty well. It went about the same as the previous run, and that gave me a bit more hope that the run could still be better. So I kept grinding, trying to understand exactly which obstacles I could go over and under when I wasn't supposed to be able to, just so I could do it more consistently on the last one. But even then, I made a few small mistakes I knew could bite me later, so I had to keep on practicing. Once I hit max level on swimming, I moved on to flying. Still, no perfect strategy, but I stuck with what worked last time, dying right after losing momentum. It wasn't ideal, but it was the best method I had, so I just kept with it. After finishing the last of the training, boring as ever, I ran through the races and finished with a time of 16 minutes flat. Better than my first run, but 45 seconds slower than my 3rd run. With a time to beat of 15 minutes and 15 seconds, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. My goal? A sub 15-minute run. I started a speedrun timer that you can see on the top left. Right away, you could tell my menuing was way faster than before, light years ahead of my earlier runs. Then came the boring part, training. But to my surprise, I absolutely sprinted through running. Call me Usain Bolt the way I crushed it, finishing with a time of 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I'd never timed it before, so I didn't know if it was good, but I wasn't slowing down to think about it. Next up, swimming. And honestly, my duck was gliding through the waters like a pro, dodging obstacles with ease. I was chaining together clean runs, diving under and jumping over everything in sight, all while abusing the glitch I had found earlier. It was looking flawless. I finally hit max level at 8 minutes and 54 seconds, but I still had no idea how good my time was for the full run. Then came the final training, flying. I still had no idea what the best strategy was. I figured if I could just do what I did on the 3rd run, I'd be in good shape. The problem? I didn't remember exactly what I did on the 3rd run, so I kind of just winged it. No time to overthink, just go. I wrapped up flying at 12 minutes and 12 seconds. So, that started off the final stretch of the race. The actual races. I realized I could finish all of the beginner races without buying energy, then use the prize money to stock up energy. It was the perfect plan. So, that's exactly what I did. This is exactly where all of my menuing practice paid off. I was locked in, clicking to the next race before the last one had even fully ended. My hand was moving faster than my eyes could track. I flew through the rest of the races, absolutely dominating. The last race in each tier always dragged on for a bit, but thankfully the expert races were lightning fast since I didn't have to wait for the ducks as much. Then came the final showdown, the World Championship Duck. For the 5th and final time, I crushed him. My final time coming out at 14 minutes and 40 seconds. I blasted through my previous record, crushed my 15-minute goal, and proved that yes, practice makes a huge difference in how fast you can beat this game. Thank you so much for watching. Apparently 0% of people who watch this video are subscribed, so if you enjoy the video, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Peace.